Bear Brothers, the Vireon Saga, Part 11, Gathering Storm. Doom draws nigh. Later that year, the Gloomskull Orc fleet returned to Vireon space. Their war boss must have had an axe to grind, or was just tired of his underlings bringing up how he made them run away. They landed on the surface in force, with plans to teach the puny humans a lesson, but instead ran into a different foe, Brain Boss Whitey and his massive mob. Whitey didn't take kindly to the interloping Gloomskulls. There was only room for one war boss on Vireo. His mech boys had just put the finishing touches on his first Gargant, and he was making progress on the ship he was building. On the other hand, he could always use more cannon fodder, and he was confident he could win over the Gloomskull tribe without too much trouble. But he'd have to duff 'em good first. As the two Orc armies warred against each other, the Vireons were granted a much-needed reprieve. But as soon as a clear winner was apparent, the victorious war boss would be stronger than ever, with a mob twice as big. When that day came, the Vireons knew they would be doomed. Work on the bunkers and the fortress complex at Jegan Station continued at a frantic pace. The Space Wolves disliked the idea of hiding behind walls, but they disliked dying an honorless death in a bomb raid more. Besides, they had civilians to protect. When the day finally came, there would be enough close combat to satisfy even the most bloodthirsty wolfen. There would be glory on that day. There was not enough room in the fortified sections of the city for everyone. Many of the Vireons fled, breaking for their longships and sailing for other islands and continents, where at least the Orcs would take longer to reach. Those that remained with their Astartes protectors readied themselves for one final stand. Predictably, when the dust had cleared over the Orc battlefield, Whitey stood in the center of the carnage, noshing on his rival's guts, the rain washing the vitals down his chest. No longer a lowly war boss, Warlord Whitey Oddnoggin ruled over enough Orcs to launch a war. His once pale skin was now a gruesome shade of indigo, like the murky water on the floor of the cave he was spawned in. His massive gut had grown so large, he would look like a living stomper if the rest of him weren't so big. This was the most fun he'd ever had, and he was about to have even more. A vast green torrent poured down the hillsides beyond Jegan Station's gates. Battle wagons, killer cans, and a massive Gargant caught in the rush like debris in a flash flood. Above the tumbling horde, Stormboys and Def Coptus reeled and twisted through the air. Dakajets, fighters, and blitzer bombers rocketed out of the roiling thunderclouds, dodging lightning as they barreled toward the outpost below. The Wolf Lord stood on the ramparts, glaring into the rain, waiting for a glorious death, his blood pounding like the shuddering ground. Then all hell rained down from orbit.